Alright, welcome to day 45 of our journey to Platinum here in Elden Ring. In this series we are going obsessively through the game to an extent that is probably super ridiculous. And the extent that I'm referring to is we're making sure that even as many of the crafting materials throughout each of the areas as possible are collected. Like, that's how detailed we're going, is I'm checking to a level where hopefully by the time I leave each area, each spot where crafting materials have spawned, I have at least walked over and attempted to pick them up. So, we're going super obsessive in this playthrough. This is day 45. We still have a lot left to go. And where I'm at today is this little section of woods that is just before the Divine Tower of Liurnia. So, I made it all the way up here. Well, really, I made it all the way up here yesterday. We went and fought the Tibia Mariner. But as I said at the end of yesterday's episode, I had to come back here to this little patch of woods because we pretty much just ran past all of this because I wanted to get over and take out the Tibia Mariner before yesterday's episode ended. So decided to go do that, and now we're back over here conquering this little section of woods. And once this is done, I will continue my way. I guess that's north. I'll continue north on Liurnia Highway, and then, so technically, with where I got yesterday at that artist shack, that's just past the Divine Tower of Liurnia, and as I was saying yesterday, technically I can go into the Divine Tower. I'm still deciding if it's even worth it, because right now, I don't have the key item that would actually flip the tower. I don't remember where that key item is found. It'll probably, I think it's a bit before I can access, or before I can collect that key item. But I could at least go in there and explore what's possible to explore right now, so I guess we'll see. But I'm thinking for the time being, I'll probably just totally skip over the Divine Tower, because I don't have Renala's Great Rune anyway, so it's not like there's really any point in going in there at all. And you know what? I'm curious. Is there anything up on this? I just want to check. Usually there's not, but I just always like to check these. There's not. So this stretches. Wait a second. So this upper portion actually stretches kind of far in that direction. I didn't realize that. So we got to check all that too. And something that I realized when I was looking back at the footage from yesterday, and I kind of realized this during the recording yesterday, but I guess I just didn't really think about it too much. There is another river well way up here. So there's a river well right there, and I can't remember which part of the underground area that leads into, because we've already gone through Siofra. And so that will lead into a whole separate portion of underground stuff. Crap. Just trying to check all this stuff around the edges here before I fought Crabman. Mr. Death. Yeah, see, that's the stuff that I was talking about yesterday. He spews that death stuff. It's like Death Blight or something like that. And it actually, so that's another thing too, that I noticed when watching through yesterday's footage. Is I was talking about how I wasn't sure if this was actually the crab that spewed death stuff, but it makes total sense that it's okay. Makes total sense that it's him, because there's whatever these towers are that are always around Deathroot. So it makes complete sense that that's exactly what he does. And I should have noticed that little environmental clue yesterday, I guess. So this takes me back out. Let's check this half of the woods. I think I kind of checked over here yesterday for any crafting materials that may have been available, that may have been here for my disposal. But I kind of want to just go back over this little section off to the side quickly. And it's kind of nice going through woods like this periodically. Like, we went through a ton of woods down in the actual Liurnia Lake, but there's no root resin. So what I was going to say is it's nice going through these actual land-based woods sometimes, because then you can get root resin, and I feel like I'm running a little bit low on that. Something I'm definitely running low on, though, is the great dragonfly heads. I've got to kill some more great dragonflies for sure, because I'm getting to the point where there's a couple of things that I'd like to craft more often. I think it would be useful, but I just don't have dragonfly heads at the moment. So kind of makes crafting things tricky when you don't have the materials for said recipe. So next time some dragonflies come in to cause some problems, maybe I'll chop them out of the sky and grab their heads. And I wonder, so I kind of, like I said, some of this stuff I kind of ran through yesterday. I had to come back and do my obsessive checking, though, to make sure that we could actually call this, good. There's sort of a checklist I go through in my head in order to make this the level of completionist that I've been intending throughout this playthrough. And the checklist was not met in my head after yesterday, so I had to come back and go through all this. And what I was going to say, though, while I was down here, was I was wondering if there would be Death Root, but it looks like there's not. I know I picked up Death Root from the Tibia Mariner yesterday, though, so I should go over to Garruk. Is that how you say his name? Garruk? Something like that. I should go over to Garruk and give him the Death Root. That way I keep current with him. Starlight Shards. You know, the Starlight Shards, I know that technically they give you back FP gradually. Like, it's just a consumable. But for some reason, I feel like if you're going to have something like that, a consumable that gradually gives you FP back, I feel like maybe you would think that it would be possibly a little bit more prevalent in the world. I mean, because already, okay, so I've got 4 Starlight Shards right now, and we are 42 hours into the game. So it seems like they would put those a little more prevalently, or make those a little more prevalent throughout the environment, but for some reason they're not. So I kind of find that interesting. I think that's kind of weird. And I don't know that there's actually any sort of talisman either that allows you to gradually gain FP back. I know, of course, we've got the Blessed Dew talisman for gradually restoring HP, but as far as I remember, there's nothing like that for FP. So you'd think that sort of to offset that, you could get Starlight Shards a little bit more frequently. A little bit more frequently than 4 in the course of 40 hours of gameplay. But I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken. I guess there's kind of some other things that offset that a little bit, but I don't really know what they are right now. So down here, though, is where I fought Tibia Man yesterday. And so I'm just trying to check all along these outer edges, all this stuff leading up to where Mr. Tibia was at. And I did see there's a section back here with wolves, so I've got to go take that out. They were guarding an item. And then we've got to go back to the other side of the path, because I kind of skipped over a bunch of stuff on the other side. Just kind of work this side out first. Oh, they weren't really guarding an item. It was just a Trina's Lily. But, you know, an extra Trina's Lily will never hurt anybody. Let me get the last boop on his nose. He's gone. I'm gonna boop your nose, thank you. And, ooh, and I got my flask back, thank you very much. So what is... Oh, wait, so this is... Okay, I was gonna say, what is this that I'm overlooking? This is a whole thing that we haven't looked at yet, because this is this lower area that leads down from Liurnia Highway North. And there's Big Bear over there. You know what? It's kind of funny. He doesn't patrol, from what I can tell. He just sits there. Because when we were way down in the lake, I saw him too, and he was standing at that same exact spot. So he doesn't patrol or anything. He just hangs out in that same location 24/7, I guess. So he's not a super active guy. That might be why he's got so much meat on his bones. He just spends all his time waiting for his prey to come to him. He never even hunts for it. He just stays there. But that whole section is something that I think it'll be a little bit before I head over there. I'm thinking. Today, what I'm kind of trying to do is I would like to wrap up all of this that leads up to the Artist Shack. Hey, buddy, what you doing? I'd like to wrap up everything that leads to the Artist Shack. And then, like I said, I don't think I'm going to actually go into the Divine Tower of Liurnia yet. But I might go down into just this stuff down here, clear all this out, and maybe grab that river well. Because I'd like to at least get that open up, because then we can check and see what area that is. Because like I said, I don't remember which river well that is, because we've already gone through Siofra. And for some reason, I've been having a hard time remembering what the names of the other underground areas are. So I guess we'll find that out. Well, I do know there's Nokron, of course, because Nokron is technically just above Siofra. So I do remember that one. But I think that's a little bit before I get to that one, unless this river well over here leads to Nokron, but I don't think it does. I think it leads to the other, like, totally brand new underground section. Wow, you're really gonna do that? After all that I've done for you? Ooh, Mr. Wolf back here almost got me. But I booped him in the nose faster than he could boop me in the side. So up there, that's the artist shack. Oh, we get a pretty good view of the capital from here. You can see all of, like, the hanging banners, the like ghostly banners up there. So we're getting much closer to the capital. So let me see. So all of this along here, I would say, is good. Actually, there was a little bit of this down towards this little swamp that I didn't check. I'm gonna leave the swamp. I'm gonna go through that in just a little bit, I think. I want to do everything surrounding the swamp first and try to pick up every last crafting material I can on the outskirts. And then we'll actually head in here. And I'm kind of using the path here as my separation. Oh, and you know what? The path actually... So, technically the path splits here. So yeah, I'm kind of just trying to go along the edge of the path, and then we'll circle back around and go back up the other side of the path. We've also got to go down to Jarburg. So I would also like to try to do that today, because Jarburg is basically directly below where I'm at right now, in that direction. So I've got to head down there. But let's, I guess, clear all this out first. And, alright, and so all these wolves are gone. That guy, we've got that guy patrolling over there. He's not going to be super fun. Those are, I think, the knights... I think those are the ones that you encounter all throughout the capital. They're, because I think those are the Leyendell Knights. And those guys are a bit tricky. I've got to get used to fighting them again. That's another one that I haven't fought in a while, and it's one of the I would say, trickier-ish enemies. I think once I get used to fighting it again and get used to timings and stuff like that, it should be a bit easier. And all of these guys are waking up. There are a lot of snow white wolves around here, though. These feel a lot easier than they used to. Not even that I'm killing them faster, but I feel like earlier on in the game, maybe it was that I couldn't stagger them as well or something. So I always felt like even one, not that it was tricky, but it was a little bit more like, oh crap, there's a white one here. But now it feels pretty simple taking them out. Alright, so let's do this. I guess I'm going to try to take this guy on. Let me see if I can... Ooh, actually, let's do this. I'm going to throw Blood Flame on, and I'm going to try to sneak up behind him. Maybe get a quick little backstab, possibly? And then, yeah, he doesn't even hear me. Boom! Alright, I'm going to try to get a couple of these strong attacks on him. And maybe I can try to get bleed. That'd be sweet. And he does that lightning thing that he just did, where it flings lightning at you. Oh, nice. Okay, there we go. I got bleed. So these guys, they're not... Oh, crap. Oh, I didn't know if I was going to be able to... Crap. Gotcha. Okay. So you get 620 for them. That's not too bad. Ooh, and a Dragon Cult prayer book. Cool. So he must not respawn then. Because I feel like usually if an enemy like that drops an important item like that, usually they don't respawn after you kill them. So I'm guessing that if I die or if I rest or whatever, he will not be back. So that's super sweet. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, those guys, I guess those guys aren't too bad. You can't stagger them super well unless you use those heavy attacks that I was using. So once we get up to the capital and actually are inside of Leyendell, I'm going to have to get a little bit better at just my timings with them, because I'm not going to be able to just constantly use strong attacks all the time. So, going to have to work that out a bit. And, okay, so everything over there is good. I think I checked everything up along here, I would say. So then let me check everything through here. I kind of checked part of this, but then I need to, like I said, I still got to go up the other side of the path. And check that out. Finish that up. This also, so over here, should lead down to the lower portion. At the front of the, or at the very beginning of the bridge that leads into the Academy gate front. So we'll head down there soon too. These ruins are all set. And see, with these open areas like this, these are a little bit easier for me to go like 100%, I guess, and really make sure I pick up everything, including all the crafting materials. But even with these more open areas, I feel like sometimes, I don't know, I feel like sometimes these open areas can be a little bit tricky to gather everything too, because there's not as much for me to go, okay, like I remember, I can't just go, oh yeah, I remember that singular bush sitting out there in the field. So sometimes it makes it a little tricky to gauge where I've gone. But all of that's good. And I don't feel like this starlight, when we're outside like this, sometimes I feel like the starlight makes it actually harder to see, because it kind of lights my immediate area more than it lights everything in the surroundings. So it's like my eyes get stuck on looking at the immediate area, and then I can't see everything surrounding me as much. It's kind of weird. That is so cool. I love looking at the sky in this game at night. And we still haven't, since we're in Liurnia right now, we still haven't gone and killed Radahn. So all of the stars are still completely stagnant. So pretty soon, once we clear out Liurnia, we'll go and take out Radahn, so that the universe is set right again, and his grip on the stars is not only loosened but completely removed. Okay, where is this? So this is over. This is a whole section I haven't gone through yet down here, because this is this back portion sort of off to the side of Academy Gate Town. So I used Academy Gate Town as my line for what to explore down there. So I haven't made it past the Gate Town, but everything for the most part on the other side of it is done. So we still have a decent amount more to do down there too. And I don't know. Overall, like I said, like I've been saying the past couple episodes, we just have so much left to check. And this is no ordinary playthrough. I'd have a lot less to check if I wasn't being as thorough as I am. And I like to check these spots too for drop downs. So this is behind, yeah, so there's an item down there. That's a whole section behind Academy Gate front. So I haven't checked that yet either. You know, I think part of the reason why everything feels really dark to me right now, even with starlight, is because a lot of times when I play at night, like in the real world nighttime, and so usually I don't have as much of a glare on my TV, and I have a pretty, it's kind of hard to see right now is what I'm getting at, because of all the glares. It doesn't look like there's anything down here. I would just like to give those things a little check. Make sure there's nothing chilling out down there. And yeah, I still, every single episode, I sit here and think, I've got to be driving people nuts with how thorough I'm checking. But it's got to be this way. It's got to be this way. We got to be thorough. Got to be real thorough. And let me check back between these real fast. So I checked in there, nothing up here, and then everything over here should be good. Okay, so then, yeah, let me work my way down, I guess, towards this grace that's down here. There's a whole little slope over here. So I'll work my way down to that grace, and then we'll turn around, and I'll go on the other side of... So yeah, let's work our way down to this, and then everything on this side of the path should be good. Then I've got to go back and kind of do some stuff on this side of the path. We can hop down to Jarburg, and then I'll work my way up to the Artist Shack. I think should be the plan right now, because we're still doing real good on time for today's episode. So lots more time for extensive, obsessive exploring. There's been part of me that's thought that maybe I should have, rather than calling this a journey to platinum, even though that's what this is. I mean, that's a huge part of the goal is to get platinum and to complete absolutely everything. And of course, 100% long play is in the title of this because of the fact that we're going real slow and going 100%. But part of me was thinking that I should have called this like 100%. How did I word it when I was thinking about it the other day? Like 100% obsessive or something like that. I don't know. Something that gives the whole idea of checking every last corner of the map. But I think long play works too. That works too. Okay, so this is also, so that's everything on that side for the most part, besides everything over here, has been done. Because you've got the bridge there that leads to the Academy Gate Town. So again, that was sort of my separation of church and state down there, to make sure that I kind of knew once I came up here and then went back down there later, so that I knew where I had made it to. Because that's what I feel like. I don't really know how people play this game without being at least somewhat at least somewhat thorough. Because I feel like if you just sort of run around willy-nilly, I feel like you could go back to an area and be like, all right, I have no clue what I've walked through, so I'm just going to kind of hope that I find stuff. And then there's a huge chunk of the game that you don't even get to see, and in my opinion, that's no fun. Even, so a friend of mine, so I've played video games on and off, I would say, throughout most of my life. Like, I've never really hit a point where for years on end, I'm like consistently paying attention to all the games coming out and stuff like that. Crap, I didn't mean to use my physic. I didn't know I had that out. So yeah, I've never really... Oh my goodness, I was trying to avoid that. Crap. That's so annoying. I just was distracting myself by talking about other things. So yeah, I've never consistently paid attention to every game coming out and things like that. And you know, I'm going to go up to the Artist Shack. It's going to be... Oh, actually, no. Let's just go from down here. But there's, of course, been periods where I play games a little bit more. And obviously, once I came back to YouTube 45 days ago, I started playing games a lot more again. And when Elden Ring came out, I played a lot. Right around its initial release. But what I'm getting at here is a friend of mine, he hadn't really played video games much in years. He had never really owned a console or anything like that. So a mutual friend of he and I, we convinced him, eventually the guy that hadn't really played video games in a long time, to get a PS5 a while back. And so we recommended some games to him, and one of the ones that I recommended was The Last of Us, because I actually still have never played the second Last of Us game, but I absolutely loved the first one, as many people did, and so I recommended the first one to him. He played through it, and he kind of, like, we hadn't really talked about the way that I like to play games necessarily, or the way that he liked to play games. It just wasn't really something we had discussed in terms of our play styles. But once he finished The Last of Us, he told me that he was super, super detailed. Like, it took him forever to get through certain aspects of the game because he was just checking, like, every corner and stuff like that, making sure that everything he could grab was grabbed. And I told him, I was like, that's exactly the way that I play. Because it's just like, doing it that way, I've said before, you end up getting so much more out of your money, basically. Because you paid for the game, why not look at every last aspect of it? And then also it's just more fun that way, because you end up finding stuff that you may not find otherwise. Alright, so I don't want to go too far into these woods right now, because this whole section of woods will lead me back up to, what is that, Liurnia Highway North. So yeah, this will lead me back up, so I don't want to go through that yet, but I've made my way all the way down to here, where this grace is at. So I think, what is this grace? This one is the Gate Town Bridge. Cool. So this will kind of be my line here, and later on, not today, but eventually we'll cross over this path and go over there. I think while I'm here, I'm going to check this little section of land that leads down into the lake. Oh, wait, and actually, now that I think about it, maybe I won't check this yet, because I forgot. This leads... Yeah, maybe I'll check all that when I actually go over to everything over on the side here. So we'll come back to that. But what I guess I do want to do is... Let's see. So everything up to this line pretty much is done. So I guess I'm gonna... Let's just go back to the art... we'll go all the way up to the artist shack. I shouldn't say back, because I haven't really been up there today. So I'll go over to the artist shack and check out the stuff surrounding this. And then kind of work my way backwards towards some of the stuff that I skipped over. And like I said, I want to go down and look at Jarburg today, too. If that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering correctly. I think it's called Jarburg. Wait, okay, so what is this here? Is there a way... Oh, actually, I didn't realize that there was an access point there. You know what? I was talking the other day about how I thought there was another grace on the shore here. So there's a grace right here. You can actually see it from up here. And that's because you've got an access point from this lower portion where the well is. Okay, alright. So I've got my bearings a little better now. That's the type of stuff that I don't remember from my first playthrough. Those are things that I just have totally forgotten about, because it's been so long since I've gone through a lot of these areas. Oh, that guy does respawn. That's kind of unfortunate. I mean, I can... Now that I've killed him once and I've gotten that what was it, like the Dragon Cult prayer book or something like that, it's not like I need to kill him again, but I was pretty convinced in my own head that that he was going to die and never come back. And didn't... So this whole thing, I think, like I said, yeah, all the way up to this edge I've checked. I'm going to grab these again, though. These tarnished golden sunflowers. But yeah, I want to check all around the artist shack, just this section of land, see if there's any items that would be useful to pick up. Most likely there's not. I mean, it's probably just crafting materials, but I gotta pick all those up too. And then this is what'll lead me across. So this will lead me over to all that stuff over there. I don't remember this area very well at all, I feel like. All the stuff across this naturally formed bridge. What is... oh, that's just a glowing skull. So this will be my line for exploring to the north right now. I don't really want to go past this. There is a grace over there, though, I could run and get, but I guess we'll wait on that. Yeah, so that we'll explore another day, because that's a whole other section over there that's got to be checked out. And all that kind of leads to that upper portion where there's... So you've got the minor Erd tree up there, but there's actually a lot of stuff between here and that minor Erd tree when going through that section. Some of it's pretty open, but from what I remember, there's a couple spots that are pretty dense. There's like those weird... Like this whole thing here. There's like these weird ruins or something, from what I remember, that kind of lead up to that. So I have sort of like mental... Ooh, Smithing Stone 4. I have sort of like mental images in my head of some of that. But like I said, I don't remember it extensively, and I don't know exactly what all is over there. But then this overlooks all this stuff. Can I see the... No, I can't quite see where the Riverwell is. And actually, there's no access point from over here, so you do have to go over here even to access it. So maybe we will end up crossing that today. I'm not sure. But I think Jarburg, the only way to access Jarburg is from up here, I believe. I think I have to actually drop down, if I remember that correctly. So that we'll check out from up here. And I'm almost over to the spot where, where you would typically drop down, I believe. So we'll go check that out shortly. And I'll probably just sprint past Mr. Leyendell man over here instead of fighting him again. And there's... Oh, yeah, there's a little graveyard here. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. Okay, so that... Or actually... So, you know, so there's... In the artist shack yesterday, I got that painting that showed a little graveyard that was overlooking Raya Lucaria. And so we've got that graveyard that I was just looking at, like, right over there. So I wonder... There's no way that's the one, though. I don't think. I feel like you don't have enough of a view of Raya Lucaria for that to be the same graveyard, but maybe it is the same one. I mean, regardless, those paintings are really just to help you find things like that, and if you're exploring thoroughly, you're gonna find it anyway. But it does still just make me curious if that's the one that the painting was referencing, I guess. Okay, so all of this up here, I would say, is pretty good. Everything surrounding the artist shack should be pretty solid. And then I think it's over on the other side of the Divine Tower that you do the drop down to Jarburg. Yeah, because this just leads to the entrance to the Divine Tower, so this is not where I actually want to drop. Because that might actually be death dropping from right there anyway. And we wouldn't have access to the jars from that spot. And that would suck. Ooh, there's 5 great dragonfly heads. I was just talking about that. Needed more of those. It's very nice. It's a very nice. Man, and they're just going to fling everything at me. You guys just do what you got to do. Please don't do that, though. Prefer that you not do that. And also, I don't want to die to something stupid again, so I'm going to walk away and heal. Because dying to something stupid for the second time in one episode would really suck. Yeah, I can't believe I died to that wolf earlier. That was not the top of my list of things to do. Alright, cool. So that's all of them. You guys can just go back to living in death. If you would like. It's up to you. You know, I am going to kill this guy again, though, because I kind of just want to get better at fighting these. And I'm not going to put anything on my blade this time, I think. Okay, and that's a good way to dodge that, I guess. Oh, crap. I didn't know he did that. I should have known he did that. Alright, come on, Leyendell, man. So he doesn't do a follow-up to that, which is interesting to me. I'm kind of surprised he doesn't follow that up. Crap. Oh, my goodness. Was that a 2-hit kill? Wow. Alright. So, I'm really going to have to get used to fighting those guys again, I feel like. Especially before I get up to the capital. Because if I... Man... If I die to them that easy, fighting a bunch of them in the capital is going to suck. But I know that, I mean, obviously sort of a common thing in this game is for you to encounter something, like one of an enemy that you're not going to encounter a lot of yet, almost to kind of get you used to it. But then by the time you're actually to that enemy, you're a lot stronger. So I feel like maybe by the time I get over to the capital, I'll be stronger and maybe it'll be a little bit easier to deal with them. Because I feel like right now, even though, yes, the Leyendell soldiers are a little bit tricky, I feel like right now it takes a lot more hits to kill him than I remember. So I think that right now he's probably harder than he will be when we encounter a bunch of them all at once. So I'm just gonna leave him be now. I'm not gonna go back. And all these guys are chasing me now. because I ran back through the graveyard just to make sure I didn't miss anything. But now I want to check through all of this. This is some stuff that I hadn't looked at. And there was this, so this is where the path splits. And, oh my goodness, alright, I'm just going to have to kill them if they're just going to chase me this far. So where the path splits here is where I wanna check, over on the other side. That's more than how many spawned last time, isn't it? I thought there were only 3 that spawned last time, and I already killed 1. There's 3 more over there, so that makes 4. My math is impeccable. Yeah, it looks like more spawned. But let's clear out this little section of woods here. It's kind of a small section. And so then over here in the pond was where Tibia Man was at the other day. Or not the other day, yesterday. And I'm hearing... Oh, you know what? Never mind. I was hearing a scarab, but I think that's the scarab on the other side of the tower that was literally just a Cerulean scarab, and I don't really care about that. For the most part, I feel like I tend to notice most of the time that I very rarely, as I'm going through an environment, very rarely do I need Crimson or Cerulean scarabs. I feel like you get enough flasks back from killing groups of enemies and stuff that typically I don't really notice myself needing to kill those scarabs, so usually I'm only interested if it's whatever the Ash of War scarabs are. I don't know if that's actually what they're called. I don't know if they're Ash of War scarabs or what. Okay, so there's Jarburg. Yeah, and that must be that's got to be the scarab I was hearing. So let me clear out the rest of this stuff on this side of the path, and then we'll head down into Jarburg. So there's just a little bit left around here. I haven't really gone through this swamp yet either, though, so I got to run inside there and make sure there's nothing else there. Yesterday when I fought Tibia Man, I think I kind of ran through it, but it was mostly while I was doing the boss fight, so I didn't really have a chance to check thoroughly. And so I just want to see if there's anything else in here. And also, it's kind of nice because I can pick up some blood roses and stuff while I walk through here. And, okay, so yeah, all this back here is good. This is actually, now that I look at it, this is actually a really small swamp. And the last Tibia Mariner that I fought up on, like, sort of on the edge of Stormhill. It's still not quite on Stormhill, but you know the spot I'm talking about. But the previous Tibia Mariner that I fought, the boss arena was a lot bigger because it was actually inside of ruins. Whereas I feel like this swamp here is very, very small. And I'm actually kind of surprised that it didn't feel small during the boss fight, I guess. Because with how small this little spot is, it kind of feels like it would seem like he's just always right next to you. But it seemed like he was able to teleport a little... Like, I guess maybe he teleported here and then over there. Or actually, now that I think about it, did he teleport out of the water at one point? I feel like maybe he did. Maybe that's why it felt like the boss arena was a little bit bigger, because maybe he didn't actually stay in that water. That very easily could have been the case. All right, so we're almost back to this area back here. And like I said, everything on this side of the path is what I was still needing to check. And I think that, didn't I check though? So I checked this, everything into here. Did I check all of these? I think I checked all of these woods, right? I feel like I wrapped all this up. So I'll call this good. Yeah, because I remember kind of coming up to here. So it's just a little bit here on this side of the path that needs to be checked out. And some of this I've sort of run through briefly. Is this guy is still chasing me? You have got to get a life, my friend. I don't understand what you want from me, but you're not going to get it. Gotcha. What do you drop? Crab eggs? Crab eggs. Can't say I've ever had a crab egg before, but I also can't say that I imagined that it would be any good. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know why I'm feeling like part of this side I didn't go through. But I don't know. There comes a time when I just have to decide, yeah, we're going super thorough, but there comes a time when I just have to decide, all right, it's good enough. It's been checked well enough. There's nothing else there. What is this? Oh, it's just a little tumbleweed. You know, tumbleweeds are something that I've said before, that when I did my first playthrough of the game, I played on like an older Xbox One. It was like an Xbox One S or something like that. And so there weren't glowing skulls on the ground, and I remembered that there also weren't tumbleweeds on the ground. So it must have just been something with the older consoles not being able, like not having enough processing power or something for things like tumbleweeds and glowing skulls. I don't know. I guess it just was too much for it to process, having random stuff like that in the environment, I would guess. But it seems kind of weird. I don't know that a tumbleweed is exactly taking all that much processing power. Ooh, that was close. That was almost real bad. Alright, so this is good. It's just this last little section here, and then we can actually drop down into the Burg of Jars and see what they got going on down there. I know that there's some crafting, like a pretty heavy amount of crafting materials down in Jarburg that I can pick up. And it's interesting, this little touch here. So you've got this like crater, and that's where a jar would have been stuck in the ground. Just like when you would initially meet Alexander Warjar up on Stormhill. But I don't know, I wonder if this is here because of the fact that, like, I wonder if that can be the first place that you meet him. Like, if you don't go, maybe depending on the approach that you take, the direction that you take the game, I wonder if he can be there and that's why that's there. Kind of makes me curious. Piques my curiosity a bit. Alright, so I think all this should be good. I think we're done here. So that's a relatively large section of land that we've checked in, I don't know, 40 minutes or so. So then, let's see. I'm gonna what's the best way to do this? I think I need to drop onto these headstones. There's a grace right down there. What I'm curious about, though, while I drop down is, are there going to be any items on these headstones? Oh, shoot. That made me nervous. I thought that I was going to miss the headstone. I don't think there's any items on these headstones, though, so I don't think I really need to worry about that. Man, I just almost overshot that. This is kind of a cool spot here. The way that you can see the Erdtree up above, you can see the Divine Tower. You can see the Limgrave Divine Tower, too, and then that's over at Bestial Sanctum. Which reminds me, I've still got to go over and talk to Garunk. I guess this is the next one I jump to? That just feels far. I guess not. This is nerve-wracking, though, sometimes jumping across these. Jarburg. I was right, it is Jarburg. And I think all the jars down here, or maybe not all of them, but I think some of them are friendly. Ooh, 3 smithing stone 3s. How many do I have now? That might be enough. Ooh, I've got 7. Sweet. Alright, so I can go and upgrade to +9. After we clear out Jarburg. That's awesome. I'm super happy about that. So I can get to +9. And then actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that I have enough 4s to be able to get the next couple of levels on the katana as well. So I can get multiple levels on my katana when we go up, which is sweet.
Hello, Cos. What are you doing here? I didn't think anyone knew about this place. Except us jars. Ah. Are you going to be the new potentate?
I'm not sure what that means.
Gosh. Truly. That's wonderful news. It's not easy being potentate, though. I know. Show me your hands. It's just a little test, cuz. To see if you've got the right stuff.
I'm Googling what potentate means.
Your skin isn't so smooth, is it? You need slick, slidey hands to be potentate, you know?
Ew.
I'm sorry, cuz. But I don't think you've got what it takes. What a shame.
So a potentate is a monarch or ruler, especially an autocratic one.
Don't look so glum, cuz. We can still chat. Potentate or not, come back and visit me. When you can.
So is that it?
Don't look so glum, cuz. We can still chat. Come back and visit me.
Wait, I wonder if there's an item, like, if I need to be wearing a certain thing. That makes me curious. Yeah, I wonder, I'm gonna have to look into that. If there's something I can do to maybe, like, activate this or something. And are these, okay, so I don't think that they'll attack. I think everything down here is friendly. Or, well, like, I think these right here are. I think over there might be some that are hostile, maybe? I mean, I'm sure I can kill them, but I feel like I shouldn't. I feel like they're nice jars, so I shouldn't do that. Alright, so we got the Jarburg Grace. I'm gonna rest here real fast. And then let's explore everything in Jarburg real fast. And then I'll go back to the Round Table Hold, upgrade my weapon, and then we will call it a day. You know what? Actually, let's do this. I'm gonna go actually to Round Table Hold now, and then we'll come over here and do Jarburg quickly. It's not a super big area for being an entire burg. There's not that much there, but it is still worth checking it out and checking it very thorough as usual, might I add. And I also wanted to come now because I should have plenty of runes to be able to get all the levels into this I need. So smithing stone 3s, so that's +9, +10, +11, +12, and then yeah. So I had enough to get all the way through the smithing stone 4 levels. That is sweet. So I've got a Uchigatana +12 now. So now I need smithing stone 5s. So let's see, what kind of damage does this do? So 195 +67 at +12. That's pretty awesome. And then wait, let me see, how many 4s do I still have? Wait, I did not crafting. What am I doing here? Crap. I apologize. I apologize for my ineptitude. So I still have 1 smithing stone 3 and 2 smithing stone 4s, but I've got a ton of 1s and 2s. So I've definitely got enough 1s and 2s to where I can upgrade another weapon if I decide to. But if I decide to do that, I'm going to need a lot more 3s and 4s, and I should be able to get those more extensively in these upcoming areas. But right now, I'm still feeling pretty good about my katana, I think. Excuse me, I'm yawning. But I would like to, now that I'm at +12, I'd like to go and see what kind of damage I do now. Ooh, you know what we should test is I should test my damage against the Landell Knight. Since he's a pretty beefy man, I should try it against him, because that's always something I talk about, how I would like to test my damage before leveling my weapon, and I never do. But I technically just did. I tried killing Landell Nightman and it didn't work. So I'd like to go test that in a second here. After Jarburg, of course. After Jarburg is complete. And look at how beautiful this water looks. Oh yeah, reminder again. I gotta go to Bestial Sanctum. I keep forgetting about that. I think I only have 1 death root on me though, so it's not like it's gonna accomplish that much. You know, I think Garank is one of the ones that I really should read a bit more about how his questline works. I've been trying, at times throughout this playthrough, I've tried to be a little bit cautious about certain things that I say, just in case you're watching through this and you haven't played through the entirety of the game, and you're planning on doing it, like, just so there's no spoilers. But for those of you that know what I'm talking about, the stuff that happens with Garunk eventually, and I think I'm pronouncing his name differently every single time, but the stuff that happens with him eventually, I don't know if giving him Death Root affects that at all. like if it changes anything, if it makes things worse, if it makes things better. I'm not really sure how that works. So I feel like maybe I should read about that a little bit, because he's one that I don't think I mean, because he's kind of an NPC, but he's also a boss, so I don't know if he was listed. I don't know if he was listed inside of the NPC info when I was looking at the wiki. So I should probably do a little more research into him to see what exactly giving him... Oh, actually, no, never mind. I take pretty much everything back that I just said, because I do remember he was in the list. I did read about it, and I remember from my first playthrough that if you keep giving him Deathroot, eventually you get some items from him. And so I'm going to keep giving him Deathroot because I don't think it affects anything later. Like, I don't think that it will impact his endgame stuff. I think it's mostly to collect those, to get him to give you those items. So I think that answers my question right there. After I completely forgot that I did read about it and did actually know what's going on with him. So yeah, so maybe if I remember, I'll do that at the end of today's episode, but if not, I'll have to go tomorrow. And my guess is I'll probably have to go tomorrow, because I doubt I'm going to remember. What is this? Ooh, another cracked pot. I've got a decent amount of cracked pots at this point, and I feel like I'm getting relatively close to the max number that I can hold, so I think pretty soon I'm going to start finding ritual pots more often than cracked pots, because I think that there's a max for how many you can hold, but I could be wrong. Maybe there's just a max of how many you can find and not a max of how many you can actually hold. That could be the case. So it could be misremembering currently. Let me see, is this guy friendly? I don't know. He is friendly. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just not going to attack any of them. For some reason I was thinking that further down here some of them get hostile, but it looks like they don't. And I do wonder though, like if you attack them once, if they're always hostile whenever you come by, or what. I'm just, I don't know. I don't know how that affects it, but because they're chill with me right now, I'm going to be chill with them, because there's enough things that are trying to kill me in this world. So it seems kind of silly to just add to that list of things and people vying for my throat. And you know, if I become real good friends with the jars, then maybe eventually they'll let me be their potentate, even though I don't have the smooth, soft hands that he said I needed to be potentate. And also, if I make real good friends with them, then once I become Elden Lord, they will be kind to me, and they'll listen to my orders. And that's important, you know? As a lord, you've got to make sure that your royal subjects are in line at all times and are willing to listen to what's going on and respect you. So, it's important. Ooh, another cracked pot. Sweet. I think there might actually, now that I think about it, there might be even one more down here. I seem to remember you get a few of them in this area. And see, look at all of the different crafting materials you get down here. It's pretty ridiculous how much stuff there is. Is this another cracked pot right here? Oh, it's a ritual pot. Sweet. Oh, and there's a Trina's Lily in this back corner. This seems like a good spot to basically you could just reload the area over and over again, and you would end up with a ton of crafting materials. And some of these are things that you don't get all that frequently. Like, they're somewhat rare, so it seems like... Ooh, and there's a Michaela's Lily here. Yeah, so it seems like if you reload this area over and over and just pick stuff up, you could get a decent amount of stuff. And I don't think there's a mechanic in this game where it eventually stops spawning. I'm pretty sure it'll spawn infinitely. So this would definitely be a good farming area. There's a couple of these little cabins that I'd like to check on top of, just to double check and see if there's anything on them. So we will do that momentarily here. Did you see that piece of wood just fly? My toe, Torrent's toe, flung it across the screen. And then is this another cracked pot? crackpot and ooh, a living jar shard. That feels wrong, actually, taking a living jar shard from here. Feels like I'm taking a piece of them or something, which doesn't quite seem right. Okay, so all of that's good. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so there is an item on that one. I don't know if there are on these on this side. Let me see if I can even... I don't know if I can even get on the rooftops of these. I don't think I can, so let me go up here, and I'll at least get on the ones on this other side. And there's still some crafting materials to grab while I'm here as well. And ooh, I can't get through there. But yeah, while I'm up here, I'll jump onto these roofs over here and try to grab that one item that's there. And then I want to see if I can jump across to the roofs on the other side of the path, I guess. I wonder, what if I talk to him again? Does anything change?
Oh, hello again, cuz. I'm happy you came back. I have good tidings for you, cuz. Have you noticed the rare flowers growing in this village? I asked the villagers if you could pick some of them, and they said you'd be very welcome. Go on, Kaz. You really should pick some of our flowers. Who knows? They might be of some use. Go on, Kaz. Who knows?
So, bad news. I already picked the flowers before I had permission, so... I mean, that's sort of that's another thing with working towards being Elden Lord. You've got to get used to the fact that you take what you want. Things don't get given to you. Gifts are not a thing. You just take what you need. Take what you want. It's all part of being Elden Lord. So I'm not concerned about permission from living jars to pick the flowers in the land that is eventually going to be my domain. So I don't know what to tell you. Alright, so all of this up here then is good. Let's check these rooftops. So there's nothing on this one. Is this another cracked pot? A ritual pot, sweet. And then yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything on top of these other ones. If I can even... Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything on top of these, so it looks like Jarburg is done. So Jarburg is done. And then I guess we're going to go... Let me see. So I guess let's go back to the Artist Shack for now. I was going to say I'll work my way down towards the Academy Gate Town, but I think it actually would be better to take this like naturally formed bridge. I'm turned around though. Which direction? Oh, it's back here. Across the way to over here instead. I think it's probably better to head this way first. Because that means now that all of this back here is done, all of this is done. The only thing that's not done is this right here for this entire stretch of land. So now it's time to head over here, and then we can head into this lower portion. And I mean, we're almost at the end of this episode, just about ready to wrap it up. So that's what leads over to the Divine Tower of Liurnia. And then over on that other side is the well. So I'm going to run past some of this stuff right now. We can come back and check all this out more extensively later. But I think first I'm just going to run through. And are there any? There are. There's some smoldering butterflies here. I need some of these. I feel like I've been kind of low. All right, so I'm going to run over and grab this grace right here. And then I think I'm also... It might not be a bad idea to run down to where the river well is. Just because I'm really, really curious about which river that leads to. So let me rest. What is this spot? This is the Eastern Tableland. The Eastern Tableland, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, and there's a lot of fire monks around here. Is there a way for me? Yeah, I think I can sneak past this guy. I don't think that I necessarily have to fight him to get in here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sneak around him, and I can fight him another day. And check all this stuff out in the surrounding area. I think I can keep him from hearing me. Yeah, oh, we're good. We are golden. I'm a lord of all that is golden. Oh, so this is Ainsel. Ainsel River Well, if that's how you say it. Ainsel sounds weird. Sounds like tinsel. Ainsel. Actually, I don't know, it sounds wrong. Like, bad. I'm not sure why. But here we are in Aintsel. We're in the Aintsel River wow. And there's these huge ant things down here. So let's go ahead and grab this Grace. And I want to check quickly, just so that I know. I want to check how much damage I can do down here. Because then that'll give me a good idea of when I should actually do this. I'm trying to get this guy that's closest to me, but it won't let me lock. It won't let me lock onto him, so I guess I'm going to shoot at this one. Oh, so that does half his health. So what about when I'm actually using my katana, though? Let's see what kind of damage I do more up close and personal. What are you shooting over there for? Ooh, so maybe Aintsel isn't that bad of an area. Let me see, how quickly... So that's 3 hits. I feel like that's not that bad. For some reason, I thought this area was supposed to be something that you go through a lot later. But maybe I'm mistaken, because yeah, that didn't even do that much damage to me. That's kind of crazy. Wait, hang on. So what about this guy? I want to see how many runes you get from them. 122. So that's not that much. And then that guy, he was glowing, so you get 610. Yeah, so I can probably go through here relatively soon, I guess. I mean, it seems like this is not that bad of an area. And then also, okay, so now that I've got that unlocked, though, and ready to go, let's go back to the Artist Shack quickly. I'm definitely over the time. Ooh, another new loading screen. That looks cool. I'm definitely over the time that I wanted to be for this episode, but I keep thinking of other things that I'd like to do. Now that my weapon is at plus 12, I want to see what kinds of damage I can do to this guy. I remember about how much I did with the other backstab, so let's see with the weapon upgraded how much it does. Ooh, that's actually significantly more. That's really good. I don't know that... Crap, the timing on... I'm not good with the timing on that. I don't know that just a standard attack, though, seems to be doing all that much more. I mean, it's definitely doing more, but... Okay, if I just keep running, that shouldn't get me. And I think if I keep strafing him like this, I can get him pretty easily. But the problem is, when you face these in the capital, usually it's actually inside of... inside the castle itself. So you usually are not on horseback when you fight these. So I'm definitely doing much better damage. Frick, that hurt a lot. What do you get from him now? Ooh, so you get the golden great shield and the Landel knight armor. So what is the golden... How good is that? So that's 100% physical damage negation. Takes 34 strength. I mean, I'm not using shields in this playthrough, but what about the armor? Ooh, that's actually really good. It weighs more, though. So I'm going to have to work that out. I think I should switch over to that, but I'm probably going to need to put on the talisman to increase my equipment load. Okay, so anyway, this is way past how long I wanted this episode to go, so I'm going to wrap for today. Tomorrow... I think we'll start working our way through some of this stuff over here before working down into this stuff. I think it's going to be better to work through some of this stuff over in the Eastern Tableland first. So, thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you enjoyed it, I would highly appreciate if you would leave a like, maybe a comment, and also hit subscribe. So, thank you for checking out today's episode, and I will talk to you tomorrow.